Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Courtney Ryan, and there's a big difference between what women say they find attractive and what actually captures their attention in real life. Sometimes it's the smallest, most ordinary behaviors that actually have the biggest impact, things that signal confidence, awareness, or emotional depth without you ever having to say a word. Most guys don't realize they're doing these things, or they overlook how powerful they are. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the unexpected turn-ons that make a man stand out in subtle, unforgettable ways. The first thing that I'm going to talk about is being calm under pressure. One of the most magnetic qualities that a man can have is composure, especially when life doesn't go according to plan. The way you handle pressure, conflict, or even mild inconvenience says more about your character than almost anything else. When plans change, if someone disrespects you, or something unexpected happens that wasn't a part of your plan, your reaction becomes a reflection of your inner stability. I would say most people let small frustrations chip away at their patience. They sigh really loudly, they snap back, or they let irritation completely take over. But the men who are able to just stay composed, turn on. A calm, steady energy communicates confidence without a word. It tells people, especially women in this case, that you're not easily shaken, that you have emotional control, and that being around you feels safe and reassuring, which is one of the most powerful feelings that you can make a woman feel. That is a deeply attractive dynamic because it allows others to relax in your presence instead of sort of mirroring your stress. If this isn't your natural default, it's something that you can absolutely build and work on. If you're listening to this thinking, oh, well, I do those things, that is okay. You can work on it, I promise. Try to slow your response time when you feel that your patience is being tested a little bit. I want you to take one deep breath before you speak. And something helpful you can do is even ask yourself whether this moment will still matter tomorrow or even an hour from now. Most things probably won't. Now, this doesn't mean suppressing your emotions. It's not what I'm trying to say. It just means mastering it. Over time, that balance between strength and calm is going to become a part of who you are. And that quiet confidence tends to really draw people in without you ever having to raise your voice. The way that you respond and react absolutely matter. And yes, it can either be a turn on or a turn off to women. Number 2, subtle physical restraint. There is something incredibly attractive about a man who is in control of himself, not just physically, but emotionally too. You can feel it in the way he moves, the way he speaks, and the way he reacts, like I mentioned in point 1. He's not impulsive and he doesn't rush. Instead, everything he does just feels really intentional. I think this kind of restraint, whether it's the way he touches, the way he looks at someone, or even how he chooses his words, carries a quiet power. Now, I'm not saying to be cold or distant, just more so able to keep your composure. When a man slows down instead of chasing instant gratification, it creates this tension that feels magnetic. Women pick up on that instantly. It signals that you're not desperate for attention or approval, you are comfortable leading the pace, and you're aware of the moment that you're in. It's sort of a subtle way of saying, I don't need to rush this because I know what I bring to the equation. That kind of energy will naturally draw people in. It makes interactions feel more meaningful, and it builds anticipation, whether that's emotional or physical. It shows emotional intelligence, self-discipline, and maturity, all of which we know are deeply attractive. And I want to reiterate, this restraint doesn't just apply to physical touch. It can show up in how you listen, how you hold eye contact, or how you handle conflict. I think when a man can stay grounded and composed, especially in those situations that might fluster other people, it creates a kind of quiet dominance that is far more powerful than trying to impress someone. And speaking of self-control and attention to detail, those same qualities apply to how you take care of yourself too, which brings me to today's sponsor, Tiege Hanley. Tiege makes it simple to have a clean, sharp, confident look every day without overcomplicating your routine. They offer different skincare systems based on your needs, but if you're not sure where to start, I always recommend their level 1 system. It's a complete routine that covers all the basics, cleaning, protecting, and repairing your skin in under 2 minutes a day. Once you've got the routine down, you can upgrade with some amazing add-ons like their anti-aging retinol stick, a detoxifying clay mask, and their brand new Look Good drops. The drops give your skin a subtle, healthy tint that instantly makes you look more alive. And the best part, members get 20% off add-ons for life. Tiege isn't just another skincare brand. It's the only men's skincare sponsor I partner with because I know it works and I've seen the results time and time again. Right now, they are hooking you up. Click the link below to get up to 40% off your first box plus a free gift worth $20. Big thanks to Tiege Hanley for sponsoring today's video. Number 3, self-directed focus and having direction. One of the most subtle yet powerful turn-ons is a man who is actively moving towards something. Women notice when a man has focus and momentum, even if he hasn't arrived at his goal yet. It is not about perfection or having everything figured out. It's about clarity, consistency, and the energy that just comes from pursuing growth. Direction signals purpose, whether it's career ambition, a passion project, a hobby that you enjoy, a personal development. I think a man who is working towards something just feels alive and engaged with life. That energy is such a turn on because it shows that he's capable of commitment, he's capable of discipline and long-term thinking, which are qualities that go far beyond just that surface level attraction. A man who has direction also just comes across as more trustworthy and reliable. There's a sense that he's not just drifting aimlessly, waiting for life to happen to him or chasing external validation. Instead, he is intentional about how he spends his time and his energy, which is incredibly appealing. If you're someone who's watching who is still figuring things out, you might feel a little bit lost right now. I think the key is just to start small and then build momentum. Pick a skill or a project to improve. Set achievable weekly goals and then stick to them. Over time, these consistent efforts compound into noticeable growth, and that confidence becomes visible to other people. And you'll also feel it too. Keep the promises that you make to yourself. This is how you build true, real confidence, through that self-discipline and keeping the promises that you make to yourself. Even very simple habits like waking up on time, dedicating yourself to a workout, or finishing a project that you started communicate focus and purpose. Women might not consciously think about it, but they sense that stability and direction, and it will draw them in. And it is a turn on from a woman's perspective. I think ultimately, self-directed focus isn't just attractive because it signals that someone's going to be successful or success in general. I think it's attractive because it signals life. A man with direction is a man who knows where he's going, and there's an irresistible confidence in that certainty, even if he's still on the journey or just starting. It's going to make her more likely to want to be a part of it too. Number 4, small intentional movements. Now, your body language communicates far more than your words, often before you even open your mouth. How you walk into a room, the way that you sit, how you adjust your jacket, or even the way that you pour a drink. Every small action sends a signal about who you are and the energy that you carry, whether you realize it or not. And I also have to mention this because it's relevant here. A man's hands are incredibly appealing, whether it's how you hold a steering wheel, a gesture while talking, or gently resting your hand on a table. Women notice. Hands convey confidence, strength, and care, sometimes in ways that words cannot. Honestly, I probably could have made an entire point just about hands. They are that much of an unexpected turn on. Not just for me, okay? I'm not a weirdo, but for a lot of women. If you've been around for a while, I am sure you've heard me talk about this in other videos. Back to my point, I got a little distracted here. I think deliberate, controlled movements communicate calm, grounded energy, not being stiff or overly serious, but just showing that you are comfortable in your own skin. Even subtle adjustments, slowing down slightly when you gesture, taking a measured step, or holding a pause before sitting can shift how others perceive you. It signals that you are in control, you're composed, and you're thoughtful. Those little cues are incredibly effective because they're so understated. Most men don't pay attention to them, which makes them a true, pretty unexpected turn on. Over time, these small intentional behaviors compound. They give off an aura of quiet confidence, calm dominance, and presence, all qualities that women respond to instinctively, even if they can't quite explain why. And we have unexpected intelligence. Intelligence isn't about showing off or correcting other people. It is subtle, understated, and surprisingly magnetic. You don't want to be the guy who makes people feel stupid. That is not a turn on at all. In fact, it's quite the opposite. But what really draws people in is curiosity, thoughtfulness, and the ability to just listen and engage with people in a meaningful way. A man who can explain things clearly, ask insightful questions, and connect ideas naturally comes across as captivating. It signals that he is thoughtful, present, and comfortable navigating the world without needing to dominate every single conversation. You don't have to be the most book smart guy in the room. I think what really matters is showing a genuine interest in the world and the people around you. This kind of intelligence creates depth that women notice instinctively. A man who combines curiosity with calm composure and presence becomes someone that other people want to be around. So How you can practice this is read, explore, and stay curious. When you talk to people, focus on asking thoughtful questions, listening to them actively, and contributing meaningfully rather than just trying to impress them or get a word in. To be interesting, one must first be interested, as I always say. And lastly, reading the room. Social awareness is one of the most underrated turn-ons. Being attuned to the environment, noticing subtle energy shifts, and understanding unspoken cues communicates emotional intelligence, maturity, and presence. A man who reads the room knows when to speak and when to stay quiet. He can sense someone's discomfort, excitement, or hesitation without needing to be told. That kind of awareness is so attractive because it signals empathy, leadership, and the ability to navigate social situations gracefully. It is a quiet power that draws people in without demanding attention. So start practicing by simply paying closer attention to others' reactions. Watch their body language, their tone, and their micro expressions. Notice how people respond when you speak and listen accordingly. In fact, I think listening more than you speak is one of the easiest ways to sharpen this skill. Over time, you'll naturally start to develop a presence that makes other people feel seen, understood, and comfortable. A magnetic, almost unspoken attraction and a turn-on to women. So it's not always the loudest or the most obvious things. I think the real turn-ons come from the small, intentional ways that a man carries himself. They stay calm under pressure, showing patience instead of reacting impulsively. They have direction even while they're still figuring things out. They move deliberately, speak thoughtfully, and notice the little details that most men overlook. The subtle energy, the way they make someone feel seen. These are the moments women notice without even realizing it. It's not flashy, it's not forced, it's quietly magnetic. And the best part, these turn-ons are not something that you're born with. You can practice them, refine them, and make them a part of who you are. When you do, you won't just catch her attention, you'll become the kind of man that she cannot stop thinking about. Calm, intentional, aware, those are the unexpected turn-ons that stick long after a moment has passed. So guys, that is all I have for this one. If you liked it or found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to be in the loop for when I release new content. If you haven't already, also be sure to follow me over on Instagram at Courtney Christine Ryan. I love connecting with all of you guys over on there as well. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.